All right, let's dig into this one. Today we're doing a deep dive on what at first glance just looks like, well, a whole lot of alphabet soup.
Yeah, it's quite the mouthful.
But it's actually a crucial engine for these massive AV installations. We're going to try and translate the specs of this one piece of hardware, the Aurora IPA-SFP-10G32C1, into what it actually means for you.
And that name, as long as it is, really does tell the whole story.
Hmm.
If you're working with Aurora Multimedia's IPX series, this is a component you really need to know.
So what's the full designation again?
It's the Aurora IPA-SFP-10G32C1, 10 Gbps SFP plus BIDI single mode, 1333 SFP plus PIT.
Right, that's your speed, your bandwidth. 10 gigabits per second, which you absolutely need for uncompressed, high-quality video.
But then we get to the part that really stands out to me. 10 kilometer.
10 kilometers.
And that range immediately tells you what kind of fiber we're dealing with.
It has to be single mode.
Exactly. We're not talking about patching things in the same rack here. This is for connecting buildings on a campus, large arenas, that kind of thing.
Right. And you need that signal integrity over those huge distances. But what about the BIDI part? What does that mean?
So BIDI stands for bidirectional. And this is the really clever part. It lets you send and receive data over a single strand of fiber.
Oh, so you don't need a pair of fibers for every connection, just one.
Just one. It basically cuts your fiber infrastructure in half.
How does it do that?
Well, it uses two different wavelengths of light, two different colors, you could say.
Right.
And you can see them right in the name, 330 millimeters and 1230 millimeter. One wavelength sends, the other receives, all in the same piece of glass.
That's incredibly efficient. But the source material says there's a catch, right? You have to use this module with its complement.
That's right. The IPA SFP 10G32C1 has to be paired with the IPA SFP 10G23C1 on the other end. One transmits on 1330 and receives on 1270, and the other one does the opposite.
So you have to manage two different part numbers for every link.
You do. But think about the trade-off. A little more inventory management versus half the cabling, half the patch panels, half the installation labor. For any large-scale project, that's a huge win.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So let's talk about the financial side. The tech is great, but it has to fit the budget.
Of course. The list price we're seeing is $498.
$498, and I saw there was a discount code mentioned.
Yeah, you can use the code 10% off for a 10% discount. But honestly, the bigger financial story here goes beyond the sticker price.
Okay, how so?
It's about compliance. This module is listed as TAA compliant.
And for anyone who doesn't know, that means it meets the Trade Agreements Act requirements.
Exactly. So if you're bidding on a federal, military, or certain government contracts, this is non-negotiable. Your components have to be TA compliant.
So this is specifically designed to meet those procurement rules.
And they even state that it's tariff-free. So they're removing any uncertainty about added costs from trade issues, which really streamlines the whole purchasing process for big projects.
And they add on things like free USA shipping and the factory warranty.
Right. They're trying to make it the path of least resistance. It's not just a piece of tech, it's a procurement solution.
So to kind of wrap up the core function here, it's a 10 gig module that uses clever BIDI tech to run over 10 kilometers on a single fiber.
Making it super efficient to install.
And just as importantly, it's built to satisfy the strict purchasing requirements of government and public sector jobs.
That's the whole package. But it does make you think, doesn't it? Given all that emphasis on TAA, on being tariff-free, it raises a bigger question for you to mull over.
What's that?
In today's world, with so much focus on the supply chain and where things come from, how much does a component-specific trade status like being TAA compliant fundamentally change how and where high-end AV infrastructure gets designed and installed? It's not just about the tech anymore. It's about the policy behind it.